Last week, some news organizations, including the New York Times, jumped the gun in reporting about the devastating explosion killing 471 at the El-Ahi Arab Hospital in Gaza. Many news organizations, including the New York Times, relied on Hamas statements and pointed their fingers at Israel. Today, in a rare move, the New York Times, in an editor's note, reported again on the tragic event, but this time, the New York Times published what is basically an apology letter. The note wrote in part, quote, "The early versions of the coverage, meaning of the hospital tragedy, and the prominence it received in a headline, news alert, and social media channels relied too heavily on claims by Hamas and did not make clear that those claims could not immediately be verified. The report left readers with an incorrect impression about what was known and how credible that account was." End of quote. Well, today's change was foreshadowed in yesterday's post, also by the New York Times, titled, "Hamas Fails to Make Case That Israel Struck Hospital." Also this weekend, the Associated Press announced that it had analyzed more than a dozen videos relating to the hospital explosion. After its review, AP confirms that Israel had not fired the rocket into the hospital. The rocket was fired from within Palestinian territory. It exploded midair with parts of the failed rocket crashing down. The Israeli security agency Shin Bet, also known as Shabak, has created a special military unit to hunt down specific Hamas terrorists. Shin Bet is Israel's equivalent of the FBI. Its newly specialized unit is called NILI, which is Hebrew acronym meaning the eternity of Israel will not die. Its name is taken from that of a Jewish spy network during World War I. The spy network helped the United Kingdom fight against the Ottoman Empire in Palestine. Shin Bet's new unit, NILI, is specifically targeting those Hamas terrorists who directly participated in the attacks on October 7th. As you know, on October 7th alone, Hamas terrorists murdered more than 1,000 foreign Israeli civilians. And according to reports, the terrorists who carried out that initial attack were from a Hamas's elite unit called a Nukbatu. This unit is highly trained in both land and sea-based fighting techniques. Its operatives use modern weapons and are selected by Hamas leadership. Israeli Defense Forces spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus joins me. Good evening, sir, and can you give me an update as to what's going on?
Yes, what is going on is that we continue to hunt Hamas combatants, leaders, commanders. We continue to strike their infrastructure. And what you spoke about, the new unit that was founded by the ISA, by the Shabak, it's also, of course, closely coordinated with the Israeli Air Force and the IDF. They find the intelligence, we deliver the ordnance, and so far, quite a lot of Hamas terrorists with fresh Israeli blood on their hands from the massacre of October the 7th have found their demise in that way. And we will continue extracting intelligence from captured terrorists held in Israel, finding locations of live terrorists inside Gaza, and striking them.
I mean, there are a lot of Hamas leaderships in other parts of the world besides Gaza. I take it that they will be eliminated as well.
I think you would be correct in assessing it. I wouldn't be able to comment on it. The organization that I represent focuses now on Gaza, but there are other organizations in Israel that focus on other areas.
You know, the United States has been bogged down in a lot of wars, Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam before that. I mean, I anticipate from everything that I hear from Israel, from you and from others, that, you know, Israel intends to make this happen, that this war at some point will end. It will eliminate Hamas. What are the plans for the day after?
One very vital difference between the two wars you mentioned and what we're facing now is that the two American campaigns were expeditionary. We are fighting for our homes. We are fighting to defend our communities, our women and children, and that makes everything totally different. The end state will be no Hamas, and what we want to hear in a short matter of time will be the sound of the laughter of Israeli kids playing in their backyards in the communities that have been ravaged by Hamas. That is the end state that we will see shortly.
Yeah, we're reporting is that two women, Israeli women, have been released. They were hostages by Hamas. And I have to tell you, when I hear that Hamas says it does it for humanitarian reasons, I immediately roll my eyes because I don't see after what they did on October 7th them even capable of such a thing. But can you tell me a little bit about their condition or what was going on, or even how they were freed, or how you got them back?
Yeah, they were freed through a mechanism involving the Egyptians, the Red Cross, transported via Egypt into Israel. They are now at a medical facility in central Israel being examined. I am not yet sure what their medical condition is. These women, these elderly women, who I think had pre-existing conditions, have been held captive for more than 2 weeks by these cruel terrorists. And yes, I agree. Irony cannot die any more than when you hear a terrorist organization try to say that they are releasing people out of humanitarian concerns. They are still holding captive more than 220 Israelis, including babies, women, children, additional elderly people, and people suffering from disabilities. So it is as far as you can go from humanitarian. Sorry.
Here's what I don't understand. 2 Americans released last week, two Israelis now today. Israel is going to eliminate Hamas. Israel said it over and over, and I think it's pretty determined. You see the number of forces there, and we know the depth of what Hamas has done, that its charter says they're going to kill Jews. What is the incentive or motivation now for Hamas to release any hostages in light of the fact that they're finished?
Well, they're not finished until they're finished, and I suppose they believe that they have a chance. And I assume that they're conducting this psychological warfare also in order to buy time, maybe waiting for something else to happen. But as you said, we're very committed, and we are focused on the task at hand. We're looking at Gaza, focusing our gaze and our capabilities there, but we are also scanning the horizon to the north, to the east, and to the south, to the west also, actually, and looking at the various other enemies that might rise. We're focused on Gaza, but we are very wary and understanding of the fact that it is not only about Gaza, and that there are other actors who may try to join in the fighting.
Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus, thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.